Like at the end of last year, I did a tier list on which Pokemon sets from the Sword and Shield era and the Scarlet and Violet era were great to pick up to invest in. Well, a few months later, things have gone pretty crazy. Like Sword and Shield has been going to the moon, well, some sets have in particular, with booster boxes being sold out on places like the Pokemon Center website. Over in the US and over here in the UK, things are becoming pretty crazy. So I'm going to be revisiting today at the Sword and Shield era sets, not just sets that have booster boxes, but pretty much every set in this Sword and Shield era, and rank which ones I think are great pickups. Now, I would say most Sword and Shield era are going to be good, and I've mentioned it in several videos. Feel like now is the best time to pick up Sword and Shield era booster boxes, but certain ones will have ceilings, and I'll be going into that a little bit more in detail when we get into the list, when we go through each set. But there are definitely ceilings that are going to be reached or can be reached by some of these sets. So let's jump in and let's talk through it all. Okay, so here we do have the tier list. So at the top we have biggest climber. So things like Team Up or Cosmic Eclipse, like if we relate it and compare it to the Sun and Moon era, these are the big top end, sets. These are the big heavy hitters. Then we have Strong Climber, which I kind of feel like if we had to compare it to something like in the Sun and Moon era, I would say a Strong Climber would be something like Celestial Storm, where it kind of went a little bit under the radar and you wouldn't really expect it to be a really top end set, but it is done very well. And I would say another set, especially for a set that doesn't have any of the alt arts or the tag team alt arts, it has been doing pretty well. Then we have Steady Climbers. These, again, I would say if we compare it again to Sun and Moon era, these are sets that just slowly trickle up over time. We're not talking about these crazy high spikes, but we are talking about just slow and steady, month by month, year by year, and for them to eventually get there. Then we have Slow Climbers. Now, for me, I would compare a Slow Climber, if we again looking back at the Sun and Moon era, a Slow Climber is one that takes a long time to get to where it's at. Obviously, Sun and Moon had quite a big of a boom last year, with a lot of the booster boxes going up, and obviously now Sword and Shield looks like 2024 is going to be the Sword and Shield year for the boom, and it's going to be interesting to see. But for a Slow Climber, it's a set that's just grinding out slow and steady. And then we have Don't Waste Your Money. These are going to be sets where, if I'm being honest, it's not really worth it. It's not really worth it. So that would be like, if we had to compare it, that would be sets like Detective Pikachu, which didn't do very well at all. I would even say sets like Crimson Invasion. You had to go back to the Sun and Moon era. Guardians Rising, again, I would probably put on Don't Waste Your Money if we had to compare that type of level of set. So, but before we get into the list, guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Where would you rank these? Of course, these are my opinions. I would like to know your guys' thoughts on this for the long run, because it'd be really interesting, because, things are changing, like I say, in the Sword and Shield era right now. There are definitely some sets that are just incredible, as we've seen. Some, not so good. So let's get into it. Okay, starting things off with the one that kind of, I guess, started it all, Sword and Shield base. Now, booster boxes of this have already gone quite high, with it reaching pretty reasonable heights. We take a look at TCG player for a Sword and Shield base booster box. I'm going to look at 272, so it's already quite high, to be fair. We go back over the past year, and this will give us an indicator of where this set is. And I kind of feel like it really has already seen its growth. I mean, it might trickle back up. I mean, over the past year, it's gone from 300 down to 260, and it's trickled ever so slightly up. So if I'm going to have to put this in any of the tiers here for Sword and Shield base, I would probably say it would be a Slow Climber, because it's kind of like already potentially at its peak. I mean, it might go a little bit higher than that over time, but I think it's going to take a long time for it to get back up there, where it where it once was. I mean, it's already high already, so probably even now or ever, to be honest, to pick up Sword and Shield base is probably not that great. Okay, so Rebel Clash, similar story to Sword and Shield base. It's already gained quite a bit, to be honest, of traction over the past few years. So it is still higher than it was a year ago. It's 220 right now. A year ago we're looking around 210 or so. Then we're up to 230, and that's dropped. If I'm being honest, I probably wouldn't even bother with Rebel Clash. People don't like this set. I mean, I don't like it either. There's no real big chase cards in the set either. So for me, I kind of feel like this isn't very good. So if I had to put Rebel Clash anywhere, I would probably say Don't Waste Your Money. I just don't see it doing well. Maybe Sword and Shield base could, but a part of me really wants to put like Sword and Shield base in the don't waste your money pile. But I think we'll leave it at that for the moment, and then we can rejig it later on at the end. Okay, so Dancer Blaze. Dancer Blaze is an interesting one. It did really well. Good reception upon its release. But then the value is just not there. Like, there's no arts. Charizards aren't really worth much. There's no subset. Terrible pull rates. It just isn't that exciting. Let's take a look at Dancer Blaze. I mean, over the past 3 months, it's been dropping. Let's go back over the past year. At 143, it really hasn't done anywhere. I mean, it's been going up and down by a few dollars here and there. And I think if we went back even further, we could probably see the Dancer Blaze really has sat around that 130, 140 for the longest time. Biggest card in the set is not really worth anything either. So for me, I would have to put Dancer Blaze and Don't Waste Your Money. I do feel like it's just not worth it. It really isn't worth it. All right, Champions Path. So we're going to our first holiday set. Champions Path has potential, mainly because it's got 2 massively huge Charizard chase cards, which does carry the set. If they weren't in the set, then I would put this straight into Don't Waste Your Money, just because the rest of the cards in the set and the desirability to open it is not that high. So let's take a look. So the ETB is $100, so it has gone up since its release, of course. And that's over the past year. However, it's pretty much stayed exactly the same. I mean, it has climbed, which is good. Of course, some of the other booster boxes have climbed as well, like Dancer Blaze. But I do feel like this has potential because of the 2 big Charizards. I do. A holiday set normally talks about Champions Path that much. So for me, I think I'll put it in slow climber. I would actually probably put it better than Sword and Shield base because of those 2 big Charizards. So not looking good to begin with. I mean, the first 4 sets are in the bottom tiers. So then we've got Vivid Voltage. We've got the Rainbow Chonkachu, of course, with the Amazing Rare subset as well. I think this kind of feels like a similar story to Dancer Blaze, although I do feel like this is better than Darkness Ablaze. I do. I think the fact that you have a big Chase Rainbow card will help the set in the long run. I mean, if you take a look at Burning Shadows from, Sun and Moon, without the Charizard, the set is terrible. But the Chase for the Charizard carries the set. And I mean, the booster boxes are a slow climber. They're nowhere near on the same level as some of the other Sun and Moon era sets, but it's definitely better than some of the ones which are just absolute trash. So I kind of feel like Vivid Voltage is kind of the same. So we're looking at 133 for a booster box. So we go back over the past year. Again, similar story to Dancer Blaze. However, I do feel like this is better than Dancer Blaze. I do. Will it go up though? That is the problem. I mean, it hasn't done much for a while. So for me, I think I would actually probably put it in Don't Waste Your Money. I just don't. I just don't see it really doing that great. In all honesty, I mean, Sword and Shield base has the potential, to climb, because to go back to where it once was. Whereas Vivid Voltage, probably not. So next up we have Shining Fates. This has been reprinted into the absolute oblivion. It does have the big shiny chase cards. Some amazing baby shinies in there as well. But the downside is it has been printed into oblivion. It's nowhere near as good as Hidden Fates from Sun and Moon. And I would say it's worse than Paldean Fates from Scarlet and Violet, which is a shame because I absolutely loved Shining Fates. So we're looking at Shining Fates, $45 for an ETB. We go back over a past year, and yeah, hasn't really done much. It's an interesting one, right? Because you look at Hidden Fates, and it's like, what, 150? Well, probably more than that, actually, about 160, 170 for an ETB. And I mean, Paldean Fates is cheap, but it's quite new as well. I think the reprints have damaged this set too much, in my opinion. I do genuinely feel like it has actually damaged the set way too much. So we jump across. For me, Shining Fates, I do like it. But if I'm being honest, I'm going to say don't waste your money. Not right now. Not right now. I think it has the potential to be a slow climber. But right now, we're looking, as the recording of this video, which is at the end of April, towards the end of April. Things may change, and we'll take a look at this list in the future, but that's where it is right now. Battle Styles. Hit and miss for Battle Styles. Some people like it, some people don't. It is the first set to bring in the alt arts, and I feel like the alt arts will be similar to the tag team alt arts from Sun and Moon. People want them. People want the sets that contain them, and this is definitely one of them. And I do feel like Battle Styles has real potential. It is the cheapest booster box to pick up from the Sword and Shield era right now, which does help it quite a bit. But I do feel like it's going to take a long time to get to where, some people may want it to be, even though it does have the sleepy T-Tar. So we're looking at this 116. It has been trickling upwards recently. That's probably due to the talk of, things like the alt art boom. It is ticking up recently from, up from where it was to 116. It's probably a lot of talk of the alt art boom right now. Over the past year, like I say, it's actually bouncing back. So it's actually is the highest point it has been in the past year. So for me, it is climbing already. It is climbing. So I would probably put it at the top of slow climber. I wouldn't say don't waste your money, because I do feel like it is good, but it is most certainly a slow climber. Chill and Rain, Chill and Pain. Things are going crazy for Chill and Rain. We've just had it recently sold out on the Pokemon Center website over here in the UK. The booster boxes went from 140 to 145 up to 200 plus already in the space of less than a week. I think as soon as they went out of stock, it just went crazy. And of course, over in the US, we've already seen it for the past month or so be really, really expensive for Chill and Rain. Is this a set still worth buying into? This is the thing, right? If this is a set where it's 200 plus a box, is it still going to be a strong climber? Is it going to be a steady climber? Is this going to be one of the top tier sets moving forward in the Sword and Shield era, right? When we look at Sun and Moon, we saw some breakaway sets in leagues of their own. Of course, we see Team Up, Cosmic, Unified Minds, Unbroken Bonds. Those seem to be the sets, and I mean even Celestial Storm. But apart from Celestial Storm, the rest of them is based solely or mostly upon the alt arts. You know, they have such good alt arts. Chill and Rain's one of them. Chill and Rain has an insane amount of alt arts. Beautiful ones as well. The tough pull rates obviously help keep the value of a lot of this set as well. Let's see what's going on with Chill and Rain. So Chill and Rain booster boxes are currently $217 a box. So they have been on the uptick, of course. I say uptick, well, they've just kind of jumped up, right? In the past 3 months, we've seen this booster box go from 160 to now 216, gone up about $50 in the last 3 months. We go back over the past year, and this was at retail, basically 140, 145, and then this is what happens when it got sold on the Pokemon Center website. So we're having the same over here. How high will it go? We don't know. No, I think it'll perform well. I think it'll do very well. So for me, I feel like it will be a strong climber. I don't think it'll be the biggest, but I definitely feel like it will be strong in my opinion. Definitely. Right, Evolving Skies, I mean, you know, I'm not even going to sugarcoat this. This will be this generation's, or the Sword and Shield generation, version of Team Up. It will. I'm just going to put it in the biggest climber, because it already has climbed and it still has a lot of room to go. I already said time and time again that this will be $1,000 booster box. I think it also will probably surpass that. You know, it'll take time, but it is climbing, and I do feel like it is one of the biggest climbers and will continue being one of the biggest climbers. It has gained a lot already, so I think we might start to see a little bit of a slowdown on the growth of Evolving Skies, but it still has much room to grow. It just depends how long will it take to get to that point. You look at Team Up, of course, it went from $1,000 to $2,000 in the space of 2023 or mid 2023. Then over the past 8 to 12 months, Team Up has just pretty much plateaued. So it hasn't kept going. You know, it didn't then start doubling again or going up to 3,000. Just kind of stayed at 2,000. So can't hit its limit. Where is the limit of Evolving Skies? So we have $686. It has actually been going up, of course, over the past 3 months. It has been going absolutely crazy. We go back over the past year and we can really see the growth happen with Evolving Skies, which is fine. Let's go back over the past month. It has still been growing from, you know, it's gone about $20 in the past month. So I kind of feel like it is slowing down a bit. You know, it could reach about 800 a box by the end of the year, maybe 750 to 800, but it's taking its time. It's starting to slow down. So I do still put it at the biggest climber because I do feel like it will reach a very high height, but it'd be really interesting to see how much more room it's got. Now, Celebrations, I raved about it quite a bit when it came out. It was like the talk of the town, and you know, at the time it was like, you know, could this be like, you know, the next generations, things like that. If I'm being honest, I'm gonna say no. This set was heavily printed. ETBs, haven't really done much. The Pokemon Center ETBs, again, haven't really done much, and we'll take a look at one of them in particular in a minute. And then the UPC, you know, the premium product, really difficult to get hold of. It climbed really high, you know, within its first 12 months, and it's done absolutely nothing over the past 12 months. In fact, I think it's actually cheaper. I think it's at its cheapest point in the last 12 months. Let's take a look at the normal ETB. So we look at the normal ETB for Celebrations, we're looking at $75. we go back over the past year, it's actually nearly the lowest it's been. It was 82 and it has been trickling down. I don't feel like celebrations is what we all thought it was going to become, if I'm being honest, right? If I had to put this anywhere, I would probably put it, part of me wants to put it below Champions Path, which I think it might be a bit harsh. So I think I'll put it on slow climber, but I think it'll be worse than Battle Stars. I genuinely think Battle Stars will do a lot better. At least for the time being. Alright, Fusion Strike, best set ever created. This has been doing insanely well. Like, this was a set which I talked about when it came out. This was the forgotten set. No one cared about it. I didn't care about it. It was super cheap. There was a ton of it around. People were like, look, you know, Fusion Strike is just terrible. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Now, however, it is doing insanely well. I mean, just take a look at the OR Gengar reaching over $300 now. It is going absolutely bonkers. For me, I actually think Fusion Strike has insane potential. Insane. I would even put Fusion Strike probably here. I would say Fusion Strike is above Chill and Rain. I would actually put it above Chill and Rain. I think Fusion Strike and Chill and Rain, again, it has a big chase card, which everybody wants. And I do feel like that will carry hard in the long run, which is quite impressive, to be honest. You know, quite impressive. $244 a booster box. This is crazy. You know, this is absolutely crazy. It has gained $100 in the last 3 months, right? This is still available as of recording this video. This is still available on the PokeJace website in the UK. But as soon as it sells out, it's going to go the same way as Chill and Rain, if not more. We'll go back over the past year and look at this. This is what happens when it goes out of stock on the PokeJace website. Bang. Just insane. Even over the past month, even the past month has gained $20. That's just crazy. And I do feel like this could be $300 by the end of the year. You know, so for me, I would put Fusion Strike and Chill and Rain pretty close to each other, but I'll just put Fusion Strike just slightly above Chill and Rain. And I do feel like, kind of like Sun and Moon style, it will carry quite hard. Now, Brilliant Stars, I do feel like Brilliant Stars is a very, very solid set, stacked set. We know what's in there, right? And it's starting to climb. It's a booster box which has always held somewhat high value, you know, and it's been like around that 140 to 160 for a long time. I mean, it's still available on the Pokemon Center website. You know, it hasn't had any reprints for a while, and of course, it won't have any more. Same with the rest of them. And it is still a very, very good set, and it has a really big chase card. It has Charizard, of course. You know, very good, strong trainer gallery as well. So we're looking at 167 for Brilliant Stars. That's actually pretty good. Over the past year, it's actually the highest it's been. I think at one point it was right, like maybe 170, 180. Then there was like a big restock, not a reprint, but there was a big restock, which caused it to bring it down a fair bit, and it's now climbing back up. I kind of feel like once this gets sold out on the Pokemon Center website, we're going to see this again do very, very well, which is actually pretty good. So for me, I would actually put Brilliant Stars in the strong climber category. I do feel like it's going to be a strong climber. I don't think it's going to do as well as Fusion Strike and Chill and Rain, but the Charizard's going to carry it, and I do think it's good. Then we have Astral. So Astral Radiance, as far as I know, Astral Radiance is, I think it's sold out on the US Pokemon Center website. Still available over here. Is climbing though. I mean, over here, boxes are now like 130. They have been going up. It does have a, you know, a somewhat good chase card in the Machamp. But to me, the rest of the set has like fantastic arts, but they're just not massively valuable. But some of the cards are actually going up. Good trainer gallery as well, but it isn't well received compared to some of the other trainer gallery sets. So we're looking at, it's basically the same price as Brilliant Stars. Now this is the interesting thing. Brilliant Stars, like I say, is still available on the Pokemon Center website. Astral Radiance isn't, but Astral Radiance is at the same price point. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see what happens to Brilliant Stars. But of course, over the past month, we've seen this set do incredibly well because it's sold out. So it'd be really interesting to see. This is what happened with Astral, what will happen with Brilliant. Brilliant's already at the same price point and still available. Where would it go? You know, so that's why I would put Brilliant in the strong climber. But for me, Astral Radiance will be a steady climber. I do feel like it will continue to grow. It is a alt art / trainer gallery set, which will help it. Okay, Pokemon Go. I'm just gonna put it in the bottom. Is it the worst set? Possibly. Is it worse than Darts Ablaze? Maybe. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna put it in the worst. I still think Pokemon Go is the worst set in the Sword and Shield era. It's just trash, right? I mean, there is just a ton of sets which are better than this, obviously. Even the other sets in the don't waste your money category, in my opinion, are way better than Pokemon Go. I think sets that have booster boxes have a much, easier time. That's why I kind of feel like Darts and Blaze will do much better than Pokemon Go. But yeah, this set's terrible. I'm not even going to look at the market. It's just terrible. Right, Lost Origin. Now, Lost Origin is doing bits. I think it's still available on the Pokemon Center website over in the US. I think so. It's sold out here. It's crazy. Giratina, price. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it reaches 400 real soon. This set is doing bits. Absolute bits. Giratina is probably the second biggest chase card, I would say, behind the Moonbryon. Everybody wants a Giratina. I think it's between that and the Gengar. They're kind of fighting for it. You do have the Aerodactyl as well, which is again another good chase card. Good pull rates in the set. We've also got Trainer Gallery. Everybody wants the Giratina. It is that good. So we were talking 175 a box, and it's still available on the Pokemon Center website. We just talked about Brilliant Stars and how well that's going to do once it goes out of stock. We've already seen what's happened over here in the UK when Lost Origin went out of stock. It went from 130, 200 in less than 2 weeks. It was crazy. And now, I mean, Lost Origin booster boxes, some of them I've been seeing sell for even higher, right? And it's just going to go crazy. It's just going to go crazy. And I think as soon as we see it sold out on the Pokemon Center website in the US, I think it's going to go to new heights. Will it overtake Chin Rain and Fusion Strike? I actually think it has the potential. We go back over the past year and we can see they've got a reprint recently, or somewhat recently. That's what's caused that dip, and it's just gone really, really crazy. If I'm being honest, I'm going to have to put Lost Origin there. I'm done it. I would say it's just below Evolving Skies. I do genuinely feel like Lost Origin is one of the best ones to get right now. Straight up. Like, especially if you're in the US, it is insane. Over here in the UK, Fusion Strike is probably the better one to get just because it's still available on the Pokemon Center website. But once it's out, and it's just like buying it on the secondary market, then I would say Lost Origin is probably just edging a little bit ahead of Fusion Strike and Chilling Rain. Alright, on to Silver Tempest. I do feel like Silver Tempest is a very, very good set. Again, because of the Trainer Gallery. But I do feel like it is also weaker than some of the other sets that we've just talked about, right? I do feel like it's weaker than Lost Origin. I do feel like it's weaker than Brilliant Stars. Is it weaker than Astral Radiance? I don't think so. I think it is better than Astral Radiance because of the Lugia. Trainer Gallery is pretty much okay, but the Lugia does carry pretty hard in Silver Tempest. The boxes of Silver Tempest are 136. They are the second cheapest behind Battle Stars. That is because it recently got reprinted, and there's still quite a lot of Silver Tempest around. Even over here in the UK, booster boxes are slowly ticking up. You know, we're looking around about 120 a box now. So I do expect Silver Tempest to keep climbing, especially when it sells out. We just saw Astral Radiance go, 167 because it is sold out. I feel like Silver Tempest has the potential, because of the Lugia, to overtake Astral. So I feel like it will be a steady climber, but I do think it will be ahead of Astral Radiance. Okay, we're finishing off with Crown Zenith, and this is going to be a good set moving forward. It is heavily printed though. That is one thing I will say, and it is a holiday set, so there's no booster boxes. It's just going to be solely on ETBs and some of the other supplemental products. There is still a lot of Crown Zenith around. The single card prices have been holding pretty steady. We are starting to see, especially over here in the UK, Crown Zenith start to go up to where it once was at retail, but it is slightly on the uptick. So we're looking at the normal ETB, $44. So as you can see, yes, it's slowly on the uptick. Over the past year though, it still needs to get up to where it once was. The set's only been out a year. When it first came out, there was so much hype around it and not enough stock, so it went up, and then a big reprint came, and this is what happened. I do feel like Crown Zenith though will be this generation's, or Sword and Shield generation, version of Hidden Fates. If there's going to be any ETB set from this era, it's going to be Crown Zenith. I do think it has that potential. Therefore, I think it will be a steady climber. I think it's going to take a while, so I would probably put it there. I think it will take a while just because there's a lot of it around. And I think that's probably going to be it. I probably won't change anything. I kind of feel like that's probably where everything stands right now. Of course, you know, I always say buy what you like, and you know, there's a lot of room and a lot of potential growth still for a lot of these sets. There you have it, guys. That is my tier list as of the end of April 2024. Last time I did this was at the end of last year, and like I said, things are going crazy in the Sword and Shield era already this year in 2024, and a lot of them have room to grow. And make sure to do your research and have a look and see what other people are saying. I kind of feel like a lot of people are going to be saying similar things, and you know, the data doesn't lie. You know, from a lot of these sets, they've been doing very well. A lot of them I've been talking about for a long time, especially Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, and Chill and Rain. Brilliant Stars, you know, has good potential. So does all the other trading gallery sets. Any set of an art we have to look out for. But if you've made this far in the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button and make sure you subscribe for more Pokemon content. And let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know how you would rank these. What would you put up the top? What would you put at the bottom? I'm really interested to see. But if you want to know what my initial opinions were when the last time I did this tier list, then make sure to click the video on screen right now. And if you want to watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright, guys, that's it from me in this video. As always, you guys are the legends. See you all in the next one.